We are basically finished with what we call the first phase of the project, which focused on I-75 and Route 4, just north of downtown in the Main Street area. That was a $122 million phase that fixed the sharp curve in the interstate, and also what was basically formerly known as Malfunction Junction. I don't know what our new name is going to be there, but hopefully it's not that. That job is about 99% complete, and we're just finishing up some final punch list items. The second phase, which will get that third lane of continuity through the downtown area on I-75, is about 65% complete. This is the one at the US 35. It's about $58 million endeavor, and will give drivers those 3 continuous lanes in that area from Edwin C to 5th. Construction started in the spring of 2010. We're ahead of schedule, and then we're anticipating wrapping that one up about the summer of 2013. The third and final phase of the modernization project, which will focus on the interstate that travels through downtown Dayton, connecting the 2 previous phases. Right now, our estimate for that, which is one of the most detailed portions of this endeavor, is right around $200 million. Plus. And I want to assure you that this is still moving forward as planned. Our designers are going to deliver this in, as Steve mentioned, April. We're hoping the contractors can bid this in August of this upcoming year. I have a high confidence level that when ODOT looks at all the different funding sources, that there will be monies that they can kind of pick up and wrap up and throw to this project and get us to where we want to be and on schedule and on time. And I have a high confidence level of that.
The project is about a mile long, but it's probably the most complex, as Randy mentioned, of all 3 segments. It's got 2 river bridges over the Great Miami and all the downtown exits, 3rd Street, 1st Street, all the Central Business District access points come from our section. So we've paid particular close attention to how businesses will be affected and how pedestrians and so forth will be affected. We also have an aesthetics component. We're expected to complete our final design next month. Right-of-way acquisition has already started. They are expected to be finished in a month or 2. We have to file them in central office in April, and then we hope to get a successful bid later this fall and start construction in September. Track funding that Randy mentioned is kind of up in the air right now. You may see dirt flying with utilities actually starting to relocate some of their manholes and conduits here in the next few months. A bit about the project. It's about a mile long. Within that mile, though, there's over 4,000 linear feet, so almost 4/5 of the entire corridor is on bridge. It's a lot of bridge-intensive work, which is why the cost is so high. There's over 2,800 feet of bridges, 7 bridges. There's 6 retaining walls that are pretty massive. I-75 is going to be kind of an elevated freeway, just like it is today. No longer will you have an access point to 3rd Street, and instead, when you exit on the northbound side, it'll put you on a relocated 2nd Street, which will be close to where Red Cross, just past the county garage. There will be a new intersection here that will be signalized. You'll have the opportunity to go straight onto what we're calling C1 Street for now, which will put you, as you go towards 1st Street, it will put you near Monument, Maxwell, and you can go over to Monument if you want to. On the southbound side, the only exit that you'll have in the downtown will put you at 3rd Street. Close to where Robert Drive comes in right now. So at the end of the 3rd Street Bridge, there'll be an exit or an exit ramp. So to access downtown, you'll want to turn left there. So on the downtown side, we will also have Vista View, which is a current street that we're going to relocate to provide access between 3rd Street and 1st Street, and 3rd Street and 2nd Street.
As you're heading northbound, you could take the 3rd Street exit and then go across into Salem if you like. Basically, the C1 Street connects, but there'll be one exit for downtown and it's 3rd Street.
Well, we won't call it 3rd Street. It'll be called 2nd Street now.
Oh, it'll be called 2nd Street.
This red arrow right here kind of shows. So northbound, you'll come off this ramp and we'll put you at 2nd Street. At that point, to go across the river, you'll turn left and go across the Salem Avenue Bridge.
And then southbound, there'll be one exit, and it's 3rd Street.
3rd Street, correct.
The next exit north of these, if you're going, is the Main Street.
Main Street.
Grand, and then south is the next exit is what?
35.
But basically, it's the First and Third Street exits are becoming.
Yeah, we're combining them. The spacing of exits is really scrutinized at the federal level, so we have to combine them.
Are these exits wider, or is there any, I mean, it sounds like they will be wider?
Yes, yeah, they'll meet modern standards. They'll have full shoulders on them. Some of the exits will be 2-lane, so they'll be a lot wider than they are now. They have 14-foot shoulders, 12-foot lanes.
What's the construction company that they got the bid for all this work?
We have not sold that
Good
project
idea.
yet. It'll be sold this summer. The main line we will always maintain, obviously, a through connection. We'll have 2 lanes northbound, 3 lanes southbound at all times. We'll flip-flop traffic kind of like they're doing on the other phases. But during construction, to access the central business district, we will have these detours marked. They will be signed with message boards and things. And so coming from south of Dayton and from the west, we will have a signed detour route that will take you to Jefferson Street off of 35. And likewise, if you're coming from the north, we will have signed detours from Main Street. This is the ramp that will come from 3rd Street, and this is an exit ramp that will go down to 3rd Street. This angle is looking south in the opposite direction of where we just were. So you see that intersection I was talking about, the local street level, will be this new 1st Street, 2nd Street kind of combination as you cross Salem. And you'll see this kind of gives a better view of what that wall may look like, a retaining wall. So if you're downtown looking to the west, you'll see a lot of walls. We're anticipating a 5-year construction project. 3 of those years will be more the hardcore engineering when it happens. The first year we're anticipating getting set up, doing a lot of demolition and things like that. The public may not notice a lot of work happening on Main Line. And then from that point, we'll have 3 years of intensive construction, and then the last year we'll be putting the finishing touches and punch list items. There'll be 4 through lanes and then the exit ramps. This is heading northbound from the driver's perspective, so we're coming up on the 2nd Street exit.
It made me a little nervous when you said they're going to grab money from different places and be able to get it here. Exactly what does that mean? Is the money, do we have all the money to do this phase 2, or?
At this point, no. If it doesn't snow anymore, can you imagine how much dollars we can save with salt and equipment and people
We all
power?
pray for no snow here. Mr. Chevalley.
Things like that is our hope. And I wanted to finish up with, throwing you the word tentative.
I mean, it's a $200 million plus project. How much is for sure? Is there like a percentage we know is there, and we're looking for this 20 million pot, or this
each year
million's come from track?
Yeah, about 100 million a year is what they think they can put to track. So if you'd want to look at it that way, there's maybe about 100 mil short for that year.
So we're short 100 million. So we really only have it halfway funded right now.
That's one way to look at it. Yeah.
Mr. Fink mentioned that we should contact for the track application this year to really push the I-75 project. Is that, and then when will that decision be made, and who do we contact?
Right now, it's considered draft. The Transportation Review Advisory Council is in the process of evaluating that. And so within the next, I'll say, week and a half, they'll be finalizing it. The final vote will happen.
In the next 10 days?
Yeah, I'd say if I get something in within at least probably within the next week would be good.
So we'll know.
But I think you've got probably 2 weeks before the final call is.
So we'll know what the timeline is in the next 2 weeks on it?
What they'll be voting on is showing this in fiscal year 14.
Okay. So and then every year, right now, it looks like the end of the project 17, so every year 18, then 19.
Correct.
So.
Yes.
Okay.
And as Jake mentioned, that first year is going to be a lot of, I call it maintenance of traffic prep work.
Right.
And then that final year, we'll hopefully come back in the spring and put the final asphalt course on. The bulk of the work will be done in those 3 years, as Jake mentioned.